Alright, in this video, I'm going to go through on Maha Bodhi School 2024 end of year examination, Primary 5 Mathematics, Paper 1, Booklet B. So let's get started. Question number 16. It says here, find the value of 1 over 3 plus 2 over 5. Okay, so let's put out the fractions. That's what you see over here. Alright, so 1 over 3. And then we also make it a little bit bigger. We're going to add this with 2 over 5. Okay, so first thing first is you want to get the common multiple between each other for the denominators. So in this case, common thing is basically the numbers, the other numbers itself, right? So with this, we just multiply by 5 for 1/3, right? And then that means we also multiply the numerator. Then the denominator for 2 over 5, we multiply by 3. And then we multiply by 3 here as well. Okay, so in this case, then we will have this equal to, right, 1 over 3, this will be 5 over 15, right, 5 over 1 5, and then plus, in this case, 6 over 15, right? So if you were to move this, 2 times 3 is 6, and what will this give you? This will give you, in this case, 11 out of 15, right? 11 out of 15. And that's it. So the answer to this is 11 out of 15. There you go. All right, let's move on to the next one. Find the value of 5 over 6 times half. Okay, so this is multiply. So this is just combining each other. So this will be 5 over 6. And then we have multiply by 1 over 2. So we can't really cancel anything out in this case over here. So we just multiply. All right, and then what this will become is having the numerators and the denominators multiplied to each other. So in this case, so you have 5 times 1, then you have 6 times 2. Right, oops, not 22, 2. Okay, so with this, we will end up with the answer to the question, which is, in this case, 5 over 12. That's it. So the answer to this is 5 over 12. All right. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Question number 18. So find the value of 7 divided by 3. Give your answer as a fraction in the simplest form. Okay, so you have 7 divided by 3, 35, not 3, 35 is equal to. So if you want to represent a division equation to a fraction, we look like this, 7 and 35. So what are common factors in this? So we can, instead of multiply, we can, wait, give me a second. So we can divide. So in this case, okay, I'm just going to put divide, right? So can we divide 35 with 7? Yes, we can. So we divide 7 for 35 and 7 over here. Okay, and what will this give us, right? This will then give us it to, so 7 divided by 7 is 1. Okay, we have 1, and then at the bottom 35 divided by 7 is 5. So the answer to this, okay, is equal to 1 over 5 in this case over here. Okay, so 1 over 5. All right, let's move on to question 19. Okay, it says here, find the value of 30.3 times 30. Okay, so we can simplify this. So this 30.3, all right, let's leave it at this, times 3 times 100. Okay, and then what we can do is we can actually multiply 30.3, right, to be 90.9. Okay, so you can just multiply like this and then times 100, and then basically your decimal point will go two spaces because times 100, so this will be 9090. So that's your answer, 9090. 9090. All right, let's move on to the next question. Question number 20. So in a triangle ACD, where the base is AD, its corresponding height. So let's highlight the what do you call this? The base. The base is AD over here. So I'm gonna write here base, right? So since the base is here, what is the corresponding height? So that means the height is over here, right? Put different color, right? The height is over here. I'm gonna put in green. Okay. So in this case, that means the height is CE. Okay. So in black. So in this case, base, the height is perpendicular to the base. So I see over here. All right. Let's move on to the next question. Question 21. Okay. So now let's see. What's the mass of the bag of rice is measured? The mass of the bag of the rice is measured using the scale. What's the mass of the bag of rice? Okay, so we have in kilograms and grams. Okay, so for 21 part A is in kilograms. Okay, so you want to see how many gaps are there from 0 to 1. So gonna use a circle instead. Right, so we have 1. Okay, we have 1 gap, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 gaps. Okay, so in this case, so 5 gaps, right, is equal to 1 kilogram. So 1 gap is equal to 1 divided by 5. So this will be 0.2 kilograms in this case over here, right? So 1 gap is equal, so essentially it's 10 divided by 5 by just 0.2 lah. Okay, so in this kilogram, this should be 4.2, 4.4. Okay, so in this case, 2 gaps is equal to 2 times 0.2, so it will be 0.4. So in this case, the weight is 4 plus 0.4 equal to 4.4 kilograms. Okay, so the answer to this is 4.4 in this case over here, right? Maybe I'll put here lah. Okay, so 5 gaps, 1 kilogram. Okay, what about grams? So 1 kg is equal to 4.4. 1 kg is to 1000 grams. So 4.4 kilograms is equal to 4.4 times 1000 equal to, so we move the 0 3 times, 1 2 3, so 4400, like this. Okay, so the answer is 4400 grams. Okay, in this case over here, right? So at the same time, I'm going to put some notes over here. Okay, so 1 times 1000, there you go. All right, let's move on to the next question. Question 22. So the table below shows the temperature of cities WX and YZ. So we have CTW with lowest temperature 9, highest temperature 16, X lowest temperature 15, highest temperature 32, Y lowest temperature 18, highest temperature 33, and Z lowest temperature 4 and highest temperature 24. So whenever was at some of these cities, the temperature was 10 degrees. Name the cities. So we want to know that 10 degrees must be in between. So basically cities must have lowest temperature that is below 10 degrees Celsius. So I don't know if I have degrees. Yeah, degrees Celsius. So cities must have the lowest below 10, which is essentially in this case, which is city W and Z. So that's the answer. City W and Z. Okay, over here. All right. So let's move on. Name the city with the smallest difference in temperature. Find its difference. Name the city with the small. Find its difference. So what is that? Okay. All right. So the city and also the temperature. Okay. So for, let's see, for W, let me make it a bit smaller. Okay. So for W over here, the difference. Okay. Or yeah, W difference. Okay, is equal to 16 minus 9, which is equal to 7, right? So X difference, which is basically 32 minus 15, so not 7, is 17. Then we have Y difference. So Y difference is 33 minus 18, and this will be 15. And then last one, z difference. Okay, z difference is basically 24 minus 4 is 20. So we want to know what's the smallest, name the city with the smallest difference, which is city W, and the difference is 7 degrees. So let's see over here. All right, let's move on to the next question. Question number 23. Okay, question 23, part A. Name the smallest angle. All right, so if you were to look at it, which one is the smallest angle? Pretty straightforward, is E. Okay, so the other angle is a little bit bigger, but E is pretty small. So I'm gonna put E over here. All right, let's move on to the next question. It says here, name the two angles that's greater than 90. So take out your ruler, right? So I'm gonna take out my ruler, right? And then we'll see which one is bigger than the corner of my ruler. So I'm assuming D and A. So I want to double check. So you can see D over here, right, is definitely more than 90 degrees when I align it to the line, as what I see over here. So what D is 1, okay, and then number 2 is A. So I want to double check also with A, right? So A, let me just rotate it to its line, can make it parallel. So if I align it, you see there's more space in A, so the answer is A. Okay, if I were to check all the others, uh, I'll check B, right? B, I think even if I align it like this, okay, it's not, right? C also no, right? Okay, so in this, yeah, C is also no, and then E, I think you can guess lah. It's not even touching. Might be even very very small, right? It's not even touching. Okay, so with this, we don't need it, right? It's DNA, right? DNA, right? Or A and D. Okay, next one. Write down the first two common multiples of 6 and 9. So we can list down 6 and then we list down 9, right? So 6 and 9, I think it's basically you can list down, which is 6, 12, right? This one 18. So 9 here, you have 9 and then 18. So we have 18, right? 18 and 18, right? Okay, then we can continue 18, and then we have 24, no, not 24, 27. Then we have 36. Do we have 36 from 6? Yes, of course. 18, 24, 30, and then 36. Okay, so same thing. So I'm going to draw a rectangle for 36 and 36. Therefore, both of the answer to this is 18 and 36. 18 and also 36. All right, let's move on to the next question. Question 25. So, Pei finished reading a storybook with 256 pages in 8 days. What's the average numbers of pages? So, total page is equal to 256. Total days is equal to 8. So, average is equal to 256, and then we divide it by 8 over here. Okay, so I wanna okay lah, let's do the division. I'm gonna show the workings. Okay, so let's go. So 2 cannot be divided 2 cannot minus 8, so we bring 25. So what's the closest 25 with the multiple 4? 8 is 24. Right, so we minus 24. That means it is 3 times 8 to get 24. And then from here we can minus this again, and this will give us 1. We cannot have 1 minus 8, so we have 16. And then we can minus 16 in this case over here. Okay, and this will give us 0. So let's see over here. Okay, 0. So 3 and what's 16 divided by 8 is 2. So the answer to this, the average is 32. Okay, so with that said, let's move on to the next question. 32 over here. All right, question 27. Okay, so it says here, no, sorry, not question 27. Question 26. Four numbers are given below. Which is the largest and which is the smallest? Okay, so what we can do is we can convert these fractions into decimal points. Okay, so for 218, if let me remember if we had anything have 1 divided by 8. So in paper 1A, we actually have 1 divided by 8 here. So in this case, 218 is equal to 2.125. Okay, so that's for this. All right, and then 4 divided by 5. Okay, so we can convert this, right, which is 2, and then 4 over 5. Well, 4 over 5. Okay, put the fraction. So I see over here, right? So we can multiply 4 over 5. Okay, but so we can have the denominator to be 2 in this 10. So we multiply 5 and then we multiply by 2. So this will give us 8 out of 10, right? Why we do this? Because from this we can actually convert. Don't have to do the division anymore. So 2 divided by 8 is 2 8. Okay, and then we have two decimal places, 2800. Okay, for this we will have 2.180 and then to 108. So we want to we want to convert everything to three decimal place. Convert everything to three decimal place. Okay, so easier to compare. Okay, so in this case it will look something like this. All right, so I'm gonna put this over here. Okay, so from here, yeah, 2.18. I'm just gonna do this like this so it's easier. All right, so now to compare which one is the largest and which one is the smallest. So the largest is this 2 4 over 5. So this is the largest. So which one is the smallest? 2108. So which is this one over here. So this is the smallest. Right, so the answer to this is smallest is 2.108, and then let me put this as the big one, and then the largest is 2 4 over 5. So I'm gonna change this to 4 over 5. That's what I see over here. Alrighty, let's move on to the next question. Question number 27. Singapore Airlines flight SQ5870 took off from Singapore from 23:25 and landed in Beijing at 05:30. What was the flight duration? Okay, so first, uh, so 2325 to 2400 is equal to how many minutes, which is basically 1 hour, or 60 minus 25. So 60 minutes, right, minus 25 minutes. Okay, and this will equal to 35 minutes, right? Okay, so 23 25 to 400 is this. Okay, and then 0000 to 0530 is equal to 5 hours and 30 minutes, right? So in total it's equal to 5, so hours in minutes, 5 hours 30 minutes plus 35 minutes. Okay, so the total, this will then be equal to 5 hours and 65 minutes, or this will be equal to 6 hours and 5 minutes. Okay, right, so we cannot have 65 minutes, so the answer to this is 6 hours and 5 minutes. There you go. All right, okay, let's move on to question 28. In the figure below, what's the least number of additional squares that must be shaded to make AB the line of symmetry? So we just need to do the opposite. So in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to shade some things over here. Okay, so first is we have one. I want to shade this thing. Okay, so we have one over here, right? One. Okay, so we just do diagonally so we can see. So this is accurate. Okay, what about this row? Don't have. What about this row? Don't have. Okay, So what about, okay, this row, right? Have. So this is 1, 2, and then 3. So this should be 2. So 1, 2. So in this case, we should have this as well, right? Okay, let's move on. Let me make this a bit bigger. Okay, so next one, okay, so 1, empty 1, 1, 1, 1. So that means over here, we should have one more here. Okay, I should change this to red so it's easier to see. Okay, 1, 1. All right. So wait. Okay, so 1, 1, 1. Okay, so is it possible I should put? Okay, so this is 3. This is 1. So I'll put the number 1 here as well. 1, 1. Then 2, 2. And then 3. Then this is 3. I think I missed out one. Yes, I did miss out one. Sorry. So I missed out one over here. Okay. So 3. Third, third, third. So this here, 3. So this is 3. And then here should be 4. Like this. So we diagonal like this. Yes. Okay. So this is 4 as well. 4. This is 4. Wait. Right. So this is 4. So always use your ruler. Okay, I'm using my eyesight. Okay, this one nothing. This one okay, symmetrical. And this one is left. So we're left with one more, which is number 5. 5, 5. So the answer to this is 5. Okay, in this case, we're not 4, 5. All right, let's move on to question 29. So question 29. So farmer packed 56 apples into bags and 30 pears into boxes. Each bag contained the same number of apples and each box contained the number of pears with no fruits left over. Use an equal number of bags and boxes for fruits. What's the least possible number? So we're going to do listing. So listing method, 56 apples, and then we also have 72 pears, right? Okay, so in this case over here, we just want to get their common factors. So 56, right? And then we divide it by 2 bags. And then this will be 28 apples each bag, something like that. Right? Or yeah. Okay, 28 apples each bag. For 72, it will be the same. 72 divided by 2 boxes is equal to 36 what do you call this, 36 pairs per box, per bag lah. Okay, in this case. Okay, so can we do the next one? So 56, can we divide by 3? So in this case, nope, cannot, right? 56, can we divide by 4? Because we also need to list down all of this. 72, then divide by, can it be divided by 4? Then yes, okay, 72 can divide by 4. This will be 18, yeah, 18, right? 18 pairs per box. Okay, so in this case 56 divided by 4 also, 28 divided by 2, that means yes, this will be 14 apples per bag. Okay, what else, what are multiples? So 14 over here is 2 times 7, then 18 is 9. Okay, so can still divide by 8? No. So for 56, it can be divided by 7 bags. Right? 56, 63. Yes, 7. This will give you 7 times 8 apples per bag. And then for 72, can it divide by 7? Yes, you can. So 72 divided by 7 is boxes is equal to 12. No, 72 divided by, no, cannot. We cannot divide 7 with boxes. Sorry, so this should be 8 bags with 7 apples. And 72 can be divided by 8. Alright. So this should be, oops, 7, right? Then 8 boxes, 72 by 8. This is 9 pairs per box. So in this case, I think we found the gold mine. So in this case over here, least possible number of apples is in this case 7 apples. Oops, over here. So the answer to this is 7 apples. There you go. Okay, so last one, 30. Over here, the table below shows the parking charges in the mall. Mrs. Chan paid $5.70 for parking fees on the weekday morning. What's the longest possible duration she parked in the mall? Okay, so we know that she pays $5.70 on a weekday morning. So weekday morning, and then these weekdays as well, and then weekends as well. So she did in the morning, so that means she is able to put in a lot of hours. Okay, that means it's 12 a.m. Right? Okay, so for this, the first 2 hours, okay, first 2 hours will be dollars 3.30. So that means the remaining will be 5.7 minus 3.3. Okay, and this will give you 2.4 dollars, $2.40. Okay, so in this case over here, one block of 30 minutes. Okay, yeah, so one block of 30 minutes is equal to dollars point zero is 0.80. Okay, so number of 30 minutes block is equal to the remaining dollars 2.40, and then we divide it by 0.80. Okay, I'm just gonna put like this, is equal to 3 blocks. So it's like 24 divided by 8 lah. Okay, so from there, what we can do is then so remaining time is basically 30 minutes times 3, which is equal to 90 minutes. Or, so what is 90 minutes? Right, or equal to 1 hour 30 minutes, or equal to 1.5 hours. So from there, the total, you put a line. Okay, so the total will just be equal to, so you have your 2 hours plus 1.5, 3.5 hours. Okay, put in okay, technically you can put in fractions because they don't really ask. So you can put 3.5, 3.5. Right, and so that's the longest duration. Alright, that's about it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want more of this kind of video, subscribe down below and comment down what other papers you want me to go through next. See you in the next one. Bye bye.